Welcome to this explainer. Right now, there is a truly fascinating, high-stakes global tug-of-war happening behind the scenes. It's over what is arguably the most important technological leap of our generation: quantum computing. You know, the world we live in feels solid and predictable, but scientists are currently unlocking a strange, hidden world to build technology that mirrors the almost impossible rules of the universe. But hey, this isn't just a story about mind-bending science. It's a gritty story about global economics. Who actually gets to own the future? We're going to look closely at this incredible paradox where groundbreaking local innovation is colliding head-on with the massive magnetic pull of overseas investment capital.
Okay, here's our agenda for today. 1. The quantum power breakthrough. 2. UK's brainpower and innovation. 3. The US investment capital magnet. And 4. Britain's high-stakes quantum gamble. Let's dive right in.
Starting off with Section 1, the quantum power breakthrough.
So, down at the atomic scale, nature gets, well, weird. It behaves in ways that seem entirely impossible to us. Quantum mechanics is the science of this tiny scale, where particles don't just follow a single path, but actually explore all paths simultaneously. By harnessing this bizarre rule of nature, scientists are building computers that don't just calculate faster, they calculate completely differently. This allows them to solve massive problems that were previously thought to be, frankly, impossible to crack.
Think of it like navigating a giant, complex maze. Standard computers, even the absolute most powerful supercomputers we have today, try every route sequentially. When one path is a dead end, they back up, try another, and another until they figure it out. But a quantum computer, it uses those crazy atomic properties to scan literally every single path simultaneously. It finds the correct route almost instantly. Problems that would take today's standard computers years to solve, a quantum computer can knock out in a matter of hours.
Because of this mind-blowing speed, the potential applications are staggering. We're talking about supercharging artificial intelligence, completely optimizing complex global logistics, and drastically accelerating how we discover new medical drugs. And this isn't just theoretical sci-fi stuff. Right now, this technology is moving out of the lab and into hospitals, like using it to pinpoint specific brain areas responsible for epilepsy.
Actually, there is a trial happening right now at the Surrey Epilepsy Center that showcases the very real human impact of this tech. They are actively using quantum brain sensors on patients, including young children, in clinical trials. Traditional brain scans might only show generalized fuzzy activity, but because quantum technology is so incredibly precise, doctors can pinpoint the specific area of the brain responsible for seizures down to a couple of millimeters. This dramatically lowers the risk of complex surgeries and allows way more people to be eligible for life-changing procedures.
And get this, the impact here is huge. Successful targeted surgery using this specific quantum sensor tech can reduce further seizures by as much as 90%. 90%! When you realize that quantum technology can do this, literally changing how we manage difficult-to-treat epilepsy, it's absolutely no wonder the entire world is in a dead sprint to commercialize it.
All right, let's move to Section 2, UK's brainpower and innovation.
Let's look at the incredible homegrown talent driving these breakthroughs. At a company spun out of Oxford University, the brainchild of PhD physicist Chris Ballance and his partner, they are doing something that sounds completely unreal. On what looks like a totally normal computer chip, they have actual physical atoms floating just a hair's width above the surface. And those individual atoms are what's actually doing the computing. This takes an immense level of specialized intelligence and years of dedication, proving that British scientists have absolutely planted the seeds for this next frontier of technology.
But here is the massive paradox we are facing. Just like with the AI boom, the UK is asking itself, are we inevitably going to fall behind again? Why does a country that invents the future struggle so hard to keep it? The UK plants the seeds, but quite often it feels like someone else entirely reaps the economic harvest.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the US investment capital magnet.
Let's look at a prime case in point. Building a working quantum system isn't something you just tinker with in a garage over the weekend. It takes immense dedication. For one UK company, it took a 5-year PhD program, and then some, just to build their foundational quantum system. That is an incredible, localized investment of time and intense brainpower.
But here is the striking contrast. When you have a technology that's incredibly good, the global market absolutely notices. That amazing UK startup we just mentioned, it was recently snapped up by an American rival for just over $1 billion. $1 billion! Yes, sure, the parent company is still investing money back into the UK, but the overarching reality is that this brilliant, homegrown British talent is now entirely US-owned.
It really just highlights the massive liquidity available in the USA compared to local funding.
American firms view this UK quantum expertise as a highly lucrative, completely necessary acquisition. The American boss who led that billion-dollar buyout cut right to the chase. He said, "We are not only physicists, but we are capitalists, and we're looking for talent." And honestly, we have to look at this impartially. From their perspective, expecting a global tech company to remain 100% British managed and owned forever just isn't a realistic way to do business. Science is global, and capital naturally flows to wherever the absolute best talent is.
Ultimately, the macroeconomic reality breaks down like this. Businesses that want to scale up from a brilliant academic spin-out to a massive global powerhouse require huge liquidity. That cash is readily available in the United States. U.S. firms are actively hunting for top-tier global talent to fuel their growth. And as a result, the inevitable business migration happens, and British talent ends up under U.S. ownership.
So, how is the government reacting? Let's check out Section 4, Britain's high-stakes quantum gamble.
The UK government has made it very clear they do not want a repeat of past technological eras where they missed out on the big economic gains. To prove they mean business, the UK Science Minister is putting a massive £2 billion on the table. £2 billion! This financial investment is their direct countermove to fight that magnetic pull of US capital.
When asked if U.S. rivals are basically just picking their brains and poaching their best companies, the UK Science Minister was pretty defiant. She gave a direct counter to that American capitalist perspective from earlier, stating, "Do I want to have the Google equivalent in quantum? Yes, I do." The goal here isn't just to be a fancy research hub for foreign tech giants. They want to build the tech giants of tomorrow right at home.
So what is the actual on-the-ground strategy for balancing this? It's highly pragmatic. First, they accept the reality that, yes, some companies will inevitably be lost to the US. That's just the nature of global business. However, they want to leverage their undeniably strong skill base and innovative startups to simply keep a much larger share of those homegrown companies than they have in the past. If they get this right, they believe they can transform that retention into massive global export opportunities for the British economy.
Which brings us to our ultimate question for this explainer. The demand for quantum power is undeniable, right? It's the frontier technology that promises to reshape our entire world, from AI to healthcare. Britain's top scientists have clearly planted the seeds. But in a world driven by massive global capital, will the UK economy actually reap the rewards of its own innovation? Or will the future be bought up by someone else before it even has a chance to fully blossom?